Hi there, welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. It's week 3, session 1 of the 5k plan, and we're going to be doing similar to what we've done on week 1 and week 2. It's a mid-tier workout and it's going to be 5 times 5-minute intervals with 2 minutes rest. And you're going to be doing these 5-minute intervals at your 5k stroke rate, which for me is around about 28 strokes per minute. And you're going to be doing at your 5k pace plus 1 to 3, which if you only have a 2k time to work from, that's round about 2k plus 6 to 8. So it basically follows the same idea as week 1 and 2, it's just pushing the intensity a bit. Anyway, let's get into our 4-minute warm-up. Start off by setting up your machine. Go to drag factor and make sure that you have that set up right. If you don't know about drag factor or how to set it, then remember I've got a video up here on what it's all about. Then go to your monitor, set it to eye height so you don't have to look up, you don't have to look down, and then finally your foot straps, so they cover either the bottom lace of your shoe, or if you're in socks like me, they just let you bend, hinge, whatever you want to call it, properly at the front without grabbing your toes. Okay, so a 4-minute warm-up can be around about 18 strokes a minute, and I'll talk you through it in 3, 2, 1, go. So just warm up, okay? Key here is warm up. Just get everything moving, bit by bit, start to get your body warmed up. Make sure your legs are used to the fact that you're pushing with them, you're using some force. Got nice straight arms that are handling that force from your legs. But don't worry too much right now about the pace you're rowing at. Just hold around about 18 strokes a minute. Row some strokes. And then we'll worry about adding a little bit more thought into the power in about 10 seconds. So once you're comfortable, your body's starting to ease up, start to think about your body position and body angle. Are you keeping a nice powerful back with a forward lean into the front of the machine, arms straight, and then a good push with your legs to engage the stroke. All the power comes up through your back, into your arms, into the handle. Should start to get more and more fluid the further we get through this warm-up. Right, so let's take 2 more strokes. And then take 1 foot out with the foot stretcher and put it on the floor. And then just row with 1 leg in. So it's still a proper stroke you're taking. Drive with that leg that's still connected to the machine, full slide up and down the rail, finish properly. Right, let's swap feet. Here we go. Make sure to get full compression to the front of the stroke so that you're still leaning in. Shins are pointing to vertical. And then you're taking a full stroke back as though both feet were still in the straps. Okay, let's put both feet in. Have a slight bend to your legs, but then keep them straight and just using your back and your arms. Swing through. So rock through your hips to swing your back backwards, and then pull your arms in, but keeping nice straight legs. So you're not using your legs at all on this, apart from just to ease yourself so your knees aren't locked. 1 stroke here. Now let's do the opposite. Slide to the front, straight arms, and just push with the legs. Okay, so keep your arms straight. and then a slight push with your legs just to feel that catch at the front of the machine. Just that little, you can just hear the woof as you catch the flywheel at the front, so it's not a big drive. Okay, one more stroke. There you go, so that's the warm-up done. Takes you through a few of the drills just to try and get your body used to transferring the power properly. Anyway, have a quick drink, slide up and down the rail a few times while I just explain one more time what it is we're doing today. Okay, so once again, what we're doing today is 5-minute intervals with 2 minutes rest. Now, if you want to set your monitor to do this along with me so you see the same thing, please make sure to set the rest to undefined rather than 2 minutes. Otherwise, we're going to fall out of sync, okay? Now, stroke rate wise, you're going to be doing this at your 5K stroke rate. Now, for me, that's 28 strokes per minute. So if you're going to row along with me, that's what you'll be doing. Pace is going to be your 5K pace plus 1 to 3 seconds, which works out right about 2K plus 6 to 8. Okay, so this is very much a mid-tier workout. It is going to be hard. You've got 5 minutes of hard effort and then 2 minutes recovery, and you're going to be doing that 5 times over. Okay, so this is not going to be a gentle, easy day, but it's also not going to be a max effort where you're going to be lying on the floor afterwards. Okay, so we get just straight into it. Might as well. Got lots of talking ahead of us. So we're going to go 5 minutes, run about 28 strokes a minute, 5K pace plus 1 to 3 seconds. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go. So try and get up there nice and quick, says he when he's a bit slow. There we go, a bit slow for stroke rate there. So 5K plus 1 to 3 for me right now is between 151 and 153 because my 5K pace is 150. Now I'm quite happy to sit on the back end of this at 153 just for the first few intervals and then try and go faster towards the end. So if I start at 153, gives me the option to bed into this session and not blow up too soon. Right. So hopefully you're holding your pace and your stroke rate comfortably. .28 for me isn't too high a stroke rate. I don't feel like I'm out of control. But the important thing is to make sure at this slightly higher rate that you're not letting your technique break apart as you try and search for more strokes or more speed. So what you'll be needing to consider is your backswing and your arms, because they're going to be what triggers the rhythm of you maintaining technique at this higher rate. So make sure your back is rocking back and forwards between a forward lean to about 1 o'clock at the front of the machine, and then
as you finish the drive, you want to be leaning back to about 11 o'clock on the clock face. And then, once you've thought about that, make sure when you're at the front of the machine, your arms are straight. And you don't bend your elbows until your leg drive is almost finished. Only then do you use your arms to pull on the handle. And then once you're finished, pulling the handle into your chest, get it away from you, nice and quick. Back into a nice straight position, ready for the next stroke. And if you just think about those two things for rhythm, hopefully your stroke rate will take care of itself. 10 seconds to go. One more stroke. Oh. Of course, I say your stroke rate will take care of itself, but obviously you still need to actually row. Hang on. The cable's jammed. Oh, excuse me a sec while I fiddle around. Sorry, this isn't the most exciting recovery chat ever. Make sure and take a drink. Is that right? Yeah. Have a drink. Keep moving up and down the rail. If you're the type of person that likes to do some light rowing in the recovery periods, then you can do that, but make sure it's light rowing. Don't go so hard that you tire yourself out before the next interval. Five minutes at this rate and pace is interesting, isn't it? Compared to, what, 6 times 4 in the first week? Those 4 minutes just flew by, whereas the extra 1 minute here but then we're also getting less rest than we had last week when we had more intervals. So, oh, sorry, I'm still messing about with my microphone. It's nice to see I've got the battery back from my heart rate as well, which is now recovered down to 70 beats per minute. Press the button if you're on undefined rests, because we're going in 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Same thing again. 5k stroke rates and 5k pace plus 1 to 3. Now obviously, the last interval was very surfacey when I was talking about your technique. That's mostly because I don't want to overburden you with too many things at once. That's why I was just saying to concentrate on your back rocking back and forwards from 1 o'clock to 11, and then your arms. But trust me, the back thing is so important. If nothing else, to make sure that at the point when you connect the leg drive, that you're leaning forwards that you haven't already rocked over your hips into a vertical or worse, already leaning backwards position. It's all about transfer of power and injury prevention. It's much more efficient and you're letting the power from your legs transfer through your body into your arms, and you're not fighting against it with either your lower or upper back, or as long as you keep your arms straight, you're not fighting against it with your arms either. So although in a 100 or even 500 meter sprint, you can kind of fake speed by grabbing early with your arms and not taking a full stroke. It's difficult to maintain that for anything longer than a few minutes. From an efficiency, from a muscle fitness point of view, but also an injury prevention point of view. Which is exactly why I always bang on about the importance of efficiency in your technique. All right, a minute to go. Just 25 odd strokes left. Shouldn't need to ease off. Should be able to maintain 5k plus 1 to 3. I'd hope so. I certainly am. And I'm talking to you. So maybe I'm just so used to this now. All right, 3 strokes. 2, 1. So I finished 155 heart rate, which my rowing max heart rate is 178. So that puts me, according to the ErgZone app, that puts me at 81% of max. I'm assuming that that's displaying my final heart rate, not an average across it. Must be. Then I suppose I'll have got up to that kind of pace quite quick, wouldn't I? See how much, see if I can remember to tell you what it goes down to. That's a minute gone and I'm 115, so that's 40 clicks that's come down in a minute. Make sure to have a drink. Really is important to stay hydrated through these. I've noticed quite alarmingly, through quite a lot of these interval things, how as much as I keep telling you to drink, how infrequently I do. Especially on the session 3 of week 2, which was 2.5 minutes. I think I had like 3 drinks in the entire thing. Of water, not like Jack Daniels and Coke. That would be silly. Okay, so 15 seconds to go until the next interval. So if you're on undefined rests, press your button to start the next, or get ready to start the next interval, because we're going in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Same again. 5k rate, 5k plus 1 to 3. Which if you don't have a 5k current best time, but you do have a 2k, then aim for 2k plus 6 to 8. It's not a foolproof system, correlating a 2k time to 5k training, but if you don't have a current 5k time, it'll do for the time being until you can do one. And then when you do eventually do a 5k test, just go for it. Don't think about needing to try and hold 2k plus 6 to 8. Just go as fast as you can. I mean, my PB is 2k plus 5 for a 5k, but most of that I rode at 2k plus 7, and it wasn't until the last 1k that I really dropped the hammer and was rowing at 2k plus 5, and then the last 500 I was 2k minus 5. With the last couple of hundred faster than that. So what that showed was my performance was a combination of fitness, power, and just dumb stupidity, really. But I doubt if I just held 2k plus 5 from the start, that I would have got the time I did. So all I'm saying is that it's important that you eventually get the proper 5k time in the bag for your accurate training. But don't worry about pacing it to your 2k time from the start. Just go for it and see what happens. As long as you put everything into it, there'll be a true reflection of what you can manage right now, and will then mean that all this 5k training will be a lot more accurate. Especially if, say, you have more fitness than power, you might be better at the 5K than the 2K. Or the other way around, you might be better at the 2K than the 5. So it's a good ballpark average using 2K time for 5K training, but it's not ideal. All right, 10 seconds. 3, 2, last one, 1. 161 heart rate finish, 85% of max. Forgot to tell you what it was when I relaxed. Oh, not relaxed. Recovered last time. So that's 3 down, past the halfway point. Past the halfway point 2.5 minutes ago. Have a drink. Sorry, it's always hard to talk and drink at the same time. But I'm kind of hoping that you're as out of breath as me. So you're not exactly wanting to listen to me chunder on about stuff. So you'll notice from a heart rate point of view, if I'm up at 85 by the end, I'm kind of getting up there towards where I'd be at a max performance rate. But because we're only doing these 5 minutes of intervals and then we're taking these 2 minutes of rest in between, my heart's down at 105 now. So get a chance to recover right back down again. And then we shoot straight back up and have a recovery. And because we're doing that up and down, that's what holds this as a mid-tier workout rather than it being a max one, okay? If you think back again to last week's 10 times 2.5, I'd barely recovered by the end of the recovery before the next interval started. Here, I'm pretty much okay. Press your button to start the next interval. We're going in 10, 9, 8, 7, I'm at 90 beats per minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Of course, it doesn't take too long in the next intervals for the heart rate to go straight back up again. I'll try and keep an eye on it. Let you know as I'm drifting up. So I was 90 as we started this interval. We're almost 30 seconds in, 100 and, well, I say 120, 118, so that's 30 beats up in just 30 seconds. So, like I say, it doesn't take long for your body to feel that intensity again. But breathing had calmed. Okay, 142. So it's 50 beats up in a minute. And then it should hopefully slow down. It's increased now. If not, something's wrong. Better call a doctor. But this really is about exposing yourself to the sensations you will feel within the 5K test without it feeling as long or as tough as doing the 5K test. How you're feeling now is probably how you'll be feeling for the last 10 minutes of a 5K So it's important to know that you can do it, because there's still 2.5 minutes to go with this interval, and you don't need to stop. So you know when you feel like this, you have at least another 2.5 in you. And then when that 2.5 is up, probably won't feel any worse. So you know you can continue rowing at this pace and stroke rate, that the intensity will not overcome you. You just need to keep on going and trust your experience from doing workouts like this, and also trust in your fitness, that you know what your body is capable of. And those 2 points are the key things when it comes to the mental battle that you have during a race or a test. If you can trust from experience that when you feel like this, you can keep on going, and that you know you can hold this pace, then when the questions start to come from your brain, you have the power to say, shut up, I've got this. And trust me, if you can do this session at 5k plus 1 to 3, you do have this. 3, 2, 1. Good job. 164 again. Ooh. Cramping up in my ring finger. Maybe that's because today is my meet-iversary with my amazing wife. 24 years ago today, I was out with Fred's at a nightclub in Glasgow called The Tunnel. Just chatting around, having a dance, having a bud. Then I looked over and saw Julie, and then my entire body chemistry just said, you have to speak to this woman. So I waited for a break in the music. It's playing BBE's 7 Days in 1 Week, which I knew really well, so I knew when the break in the tune was going to happen. And I knew I had about 30 seconds. Hang on, drink time. I had 30 seconds to talk to her. And I'm like, oh, hello. And she's like, I've been waiting for you to come over for ages. It's about time you did. So she'd seen me and obviously thought exactly the same thing. And that was it. That was the start of John and Julie. 24 years later, I'm a much better man because of her. And she's a lot more stressed because of me. True story. Right, press your button for undefined rests to prep the next interval. We're going in 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm 100 beats per minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So that shows cardiac drift, if nothing else, that you think at the end of interval 3, that recovery, I'd managed to recover to 90 beats per minute. At the end of interval 4, half a recovery, I was only able to get down to 100. So it just shows how much harder your body takes it as you go on. So, which is the reason why we're only doing 5 of these. If we added on another one, it would firmly put this session into a top tier, rather than right now it's kind of scraping into top tier for the last minute or so, but at no point do I feel like I can't carry on. So I wouldn't say it was in the top tier, but that's just me. I know some of you respond differently, and that my bottom tiers feel like a mid, etc. So this is why usually I give a pace range, like 5k 1 to 3, 5k plus 1 would be if you eat up these sessions. 5k plus 3 is if you're still building strength and fitness to be able to do these sessions. Because remember, these are the baby bear ones, where you're pretty much testing muscle power and cardio in equal measure. Whereas what you find in the bottom tier is it's less about cardio and more about making sure your muscles are firing. And then top tier, the balance shifts towards cardio, which is why, from a speech point of view, bottom tier ones, you're okay to speak. Mid tier, just not constantly. And then top tier rows, it'll be tough to talk all the way through the intervals. So you'll just get the odd word out. Right, 1 minute to go. Then we're all done, apart from a cool down. But the intense stuff is over in 50 seconds. Were you able to speed up, or are you just holding the same pace? I'm holding the same pace anyway. 30 seconds. Almost there. Keep up your stroke rate and your pace. Do not ease off. Stay strong. 10 seconds. 2 strokes. 1 more. Good job. Well done. Like I said at the start, this one out of the 3 we've done so far, because you're rowing for 5 minutes with less rest than last week, even though there's only 5 intervals, it's pushing the intensity. Because like we learned from my heart rate, which ended at 89%, in fact, what was the number? I stopped at 167. So yeah, as you learn from my heart rate, the intensity gets more and more as you go through that session. So I was 73% at max, then 81, 85, 87, 89. So density grew, and we also know that my recovery wasn't as good. Right, quick cool down. Here we go. Just pick a stroke rate that's comfortable for you. Maybe try and hit your 2K pace plus 30 seconds. Just a good pace for letting everything cool down on you instead of everything grinding to a halt. So there we go, start of week 3. We're halfway through, so that's why this week is going to feel a little bit more intense, just to build a bit of intensity and power. Week 3 is interesting this week. Hope you're going to look forward to that. And of course, session 2 of week 3 is a nice, long, low rate, slow row. Can't speak. So there we go. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on a podcast, I'd love it if you'd leave a comment and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, because I love knowing you're out there. It's what keeps me carrying on, to be honest. Click the little bell or notification, whatever it is that tells you there's a new one. Give me any feedback that you can. It's the only way I'll know how to improve. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video or talk to you in the next podcast. There we go. That's a 2-minute cool down done. If you want to carry on going just until I say goodbye, then do. It gives you a chance to cool down. But it's not going to be a long outro today, don't worry. Yeah, that's it. We're, like I say, we're halfway through, so got this week. Next week, that puts us into the end of week 4. Then we basically just hold together, make a decision as to whether to carry on a 5k plan or just make it a repeating, rolling plan that just goes 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 4. But I might not do test week for week 4. I'll give you the chance to do that yourself. Anyway, we're all done. Hope you're feeling well, doing well. Hope you're strong. Hope you're responding to this. I just hope. I'm just a very hopeful fella. In fact, that'll be it. Hashtag hopeful. Because you have a choice. You can either be bright and optimistic, especially right now in these times, or you can be dark and pessimistic. And you know what? There's no point worrying about it twice. So if you worry about it the first time round, when it eventually happens, that's you hit it twice. I'd rather be a bit disappointed than to go, oh, told you. I'd rather still be hopeful. There's an article in Men's Health this month actually that says that optimistic people live longer. So there you go. There's a tidbit for you. So yeah, hashtag hopeful. And I said this wasn't going to be a long outro, so I apologise for that. But hey, you know what I'm like when I get in a rant. Thanks very much for coming. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.